Right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple of weeks again, but nonetheless, I want to just get back into just like vlogging everything that I do like on the day. Today is Sunday, and what I do is I milk cows usually on a Sunday, just to help out the lads, and then legs as well on a Sunday. I'm gonna go milk these cows, and I'll check back in when I'm finished milking the cows. It's fucking Baltic. And you know the one thing that you want to do when you're out in the rain is just go back and tuck up in bed. Alright, love? Go on. Right, lads, I milked my cows. I'll check back in with you then when I'm home. Exactly where I left you about 5 hours ago. I'm still here. So the lads are training legs at 12 o'clock. It's 11:45 now, so it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. I must give you a physique update though, because I haven't given any physique updates in a long time. Alright, let's get home. Let's get out. Yeah, boy. Leg day parking only. Except I missed legs yesterday. It's the next day. It's Monday morning. Down here at the gym. So it's time to get in there before anyone comes. Forgot my protein. Forgot my coffee. So, enough farming. Alright, let's get back to the fitness stuff. I wanted to address the title of this video and basically what I'm up to at the moment, because I've had another 2 weeks, we'll say, with no videos. So that is about to change, and I'm not even gonna like give you my word. I'm just gonna allow you to watch the videos and then understand for yourselves. But basically what I'm doing at the moment is called an RFL diet, or a rapid fat loss diet, aggressive fat loss. Why is it so dark in here, man? Better. I'm gonna have to get Don to show me how to use this, yo. So basically what that is I'm putting myself in the biggest calorie deficit that I can put myself in for a few weeks. So as you'll see, I am not bulking anymore for now. I will be getting back to the bulk very soon. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going on holidays in like 3 weeks now, or probably less than 3 weeks. So initially I was in a mini cut, but I don't really want to waste time, you know, being in a mini cut for like 8 weeks, which is going to end up stretching out to like 12 weeks, because if you include the holiday and if you include like an extra 2 weeks when I come home, to just pull off a tiny little bit of extra just to get me back in the best position possible before obviously holidays, or before obviously reversing back into the gaining phase. I just want to get in and get out. Now, it's not something that I'd recommend to absolutely anyone. Not a sinner I would recommend anyone to do this diet, if that made sense. Anyway, I would not recommend anyone to do this diet, and the reason for that is because it's not something that you can sustain. It's not something that you can adhere to for a long time. It's literally a get in and get out job. I'm going to just take you through basically everything that I'm doing, and then everything that I'm doing I'm going to break down into a couple of videos throughout the rest of this week to allow you to see basically in depth everything that I'm doing at the moment when it comes to my training, when it comes to my nutrition, which is obviously the biggest part of this rapid fat loss diet, and then when it comes to everything, you know, outside of all that then as well. I'm just going to take you along for the next like 3 weeks before I go on holidays, give you a really good insight to exactly what it is that I'm doing, and then when I come home then we'll obviously be reversing back into the gaining phase again and looking to obviously compete next year, which is the big dream goal that I've obviously had for how many years now. So that's exactly what we'll do, and the goal really is, when reversing out of a deficit or a cut, whatever it may be, again, each and every time you do it, you want to do it better. All right, and that is what I'm excited for again. It's what I've always been excited for. My first photo shoot in 2020, the reverse is what I was most excited for, and obviously you saw I absolutely fucked it. 2021? No, 2022. When I finished up the deficit there with John in February, obviously the goal was to be in a better position reversing out, and we were in a much better position. Obviously, I did gain a serious amount of weight again and a lot of fat came along with that, but I was still in a relatively good position. Obviously body fat levels were quite high before obviously going back into this deficit over the last couple of weeks, but I was still relatively happy. The only reason obviously that we started the mini cut back there towards the start of June was because it was summer and because I had this holiday coming up at the end of July. But I just had this itch to scratch, and that was to do an RFL diet. So that's exactly what we're doing. Just landed in home again, forgot push wrapped up as well. I'm going to go in now and get some grub. I have most of the check-ins done. I have a couple more to do now that have come in between push and now, so I'll get them done, and then small little bit more, and then I need to go and get some stock for the bowls, and then we're back down to the gym again this evening. Dan has probably a glute session, and I'll have cardio as well. I kind of prefer, at the moment, if I can, I have more energy in the mornings if I can train, and then I'll just do cardio in the evenings then, because I don't need as much energy for the session. And yeah, 8,630 kilo lifted this morning. I'm using a Heavy Set app, it's called, to track basically my volume at the moment. And what I was talking about to you earlier, in order for me to hold on to all the muscle that I already have going through this RFL diet, I need to make sure that I'm maintaining my strength in the gym, because once strength starts to dip, then we can sort of think, right, I'm getting weaker. Do you know what I mean? And as long as I'm staying as strong as possible inside in the gym and taking, a little bit of extra volume when I can here, or maintaining my strength as much as possible over the next couple of weeks, I'm good to go. Do you know what I mean? Because protein intake is exactly where I need it, which is allowing recovery and obviously repair the muscles to be in a good spot. I know obviously carbs, fats are non-existent, they're trace, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But in order for me to maintain my strength, the best way for me to sort of monitor that is by using this app. Now, it's pretty much the same. You could do it using just your normal logbook, but it's just easier because this just calculates up all the volume for you, instead of you going in, having to record, or having to calculate the weight you lifted by the sets, by the reps, in order to get your total amount of volume. So today's session, push, 8,630 kilo lifted, and that's with my working sets, so not including obviously like my warm-up or feeder sets as I like to call them. So that is good. Next week we'll go in, do the same session, and we'll see if I maintain my strength or if I'm able to creep out a couple of extra numbers. But very good session ticked off this morning with Mr. Killian Ryan. What is up, my man? Thank you very much for an absolute miserable day outside. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, probably the most important thing of this whole RFL, is basically the nutrition side of things. Nutrition, supplementation, everything that is basically involved with it, and what is an RFL diet, like what makes the nutrition side of it different to just a normal bulk or a normal cut. It's very simple, alright? Basically all it is when it comes to food is protein. So my protein is set. For me, obviously, because I'm a natural athlete, my protein requirements are going to be higher in this diet because, I don't have anything there assisting me to obviously preserve muscle mass or gain muscle mass as well, right? So protein is set at 1.4 grams per pound of body weight. Now, in a regular diet, in a regular bulk, I would recommend 1 gram per pound of body weight, which is going to be absolutely more than sufficient for you to obviously build muscle or obviously lose fat, same thing. But because obviously calories are so low in this diet, protein has been bumped up to 1.4 grams per pound of body weight. Carbs then are trace, which means that carbs are just coming from my protein sources. All right, so say if I'm having beef there, it might have a small little bit of carbs in it, which are just trace carbs. They're not an actual carb source. That's what equals up my carbs. So my carbs are kind of falling around like anywhere from 30 to 40 50 grams of carbs every single day, just from the different sources of meat, protein powder that I'm having every single day. Same goes for fat then as well. Pretty much trace, which again means I'm just getting that little bit of fat from all the different meat protein sources that I'm having. 180 or odd pounds, so I'm having 1.4 times that of protein, and then obviously trace carb, trace fat, and then obviously on top of the protein sources is a load of veg in pretty much every single meal to make it as efficient and as
perfect as possible, I'm splitting my feedings up into like 5 to 6 different protein feedings every single day, which I would recommend to anyone who is here cutting, anyone who is bulking, to obviously spike muscle protein synthesis as much as possible throughout the day. You'd like to split that protein feedings up into, you know, as many as possible. Supplements then are the next thing. Obviously, because, you know, micronutrients are not going to be met as much as I'd want because of the different carb sources, the different fat sources and stuff, my supplementation is obviously going to be very important. And the ones that I'm taking sort of more of now over anything are obviously a really good fish oil. All right. So a lot of fish oils are going in, obviously, from the lack of healthy fats, and then multivitamin as well, just to keep on top of that, obviously on top of all the veg that I'm having. That is pretty much everything involved. I know this video has kind of been a bit of farming, a little bit of what the fuck is he doing now, and RFL, and then talking obviously about the training, nutrition. Last thing that I wanted you to talk to you about, wow, I'm all over the place. I'm just getting back into recording, okay? I'm just getting back into vlogging. The last thing that I wanted to kind of go over was obviously my expenditure. What am I doing here? Now, given from the size of the deficit that I'm in, doing, you know, a certain number of calories every single day of output from cardio, you know, like the bike or the treadmill that I do. Now, that couple of 100 calories are not really going to benefit me compared to what they would benefit me if I was to be in, you know, a really, really small deficit and slowly losing fat, which I would recommend. And that's what I do with pretty much every single one of my clients, is I prefer someone to obviously be burning a lot more calories than eating a lot more calories alongside that then as well, to obviously fuel training performance, all right? In a scenario where time is obviously on your hands. Now, what I am currently doing myself, obviously keeping cardio in there and obviously steps in a good spot as well. My steps, first of all, are at 12,000 a day on average across the week, okay? So what that means is all I have to do by the end of the week is to have 12,000 on average across the whole week. So that means some days I might get 15,000, one day there, if I'm not moving around whatsoever, you know, I could end up getting 11,000. And to save me the hassle of saying at, you know, 11 o'clock at night saying, right, I have 1,000 steps left to get in, the next day I just get 13, 14, 15,000 done. At the end of the week, that all balances itself out then, right? Cardio then is the next thing. I will be doing 40 minutes of cardio every single day, all right? Just because, more so because I enjoy it, but that also burns roughly on my bike. Now, it's only a number, all right? I'm certainly not burning 500 calories from that 40 minutes, but it is 500 calories on my bike, so that is what I'm aiming to do within 40 minutes. It allows my heart rate to get to the level that I wanted to get at, for it to be burning in that like fat loss range that people say. But 40 minutes cardio every single day. If I want to bump it up next week, I'll bump it up. Today is obviously Monday, so start of a new week. I dropped a kilo since yesterday morning, I believe. Was it yesterday morning? I was 81.6 yesterday morning, 80.7 this morning. So as you can see, the rate of loss is huge, but a lot of that, you know, in the first week, going from 83.5 down to 81.6 at the end of the week, a lot of that was obviously water weight, extra glycogen that I was on from my previous diet, and just basically clearing the body out. Hopefully from now, obviously, because I'm not taking in fuck all carbs, a lot of it's going to be fat. Now, I've been going for 7 minutes. I hope you get some sort of a gist of what I'm doing at the moment. I hope this video just gave you a little bit of an update of what I'm doing myself. I'm going to spend the rest of the week going through everything I'm doing for the next 3 or so weeks before I go away on holidays, and then obviously when I come back from holidays, it'll probably be just setting myself up perfectly to obviously go into reverse then, to obviously set myself up for the rest of this off season before the 2023 prep. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below if you have any questions about this diet, about anything, about, you know, my training, about my nutrition, about what I'm doing at the moment, and I'll be glad to answer anything. Or you can catch me over on Instagram for any questions that you might have. And lastly, if you are interested in online coaching, personal training at the moment, do not be afraid to reach out and ask me a couple of questions about what I offer and what I might be able to do for you as well. Thanks guys.